What's up? 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 What's up?
Sweet.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. No ads tonight because the show is not sponsored. This is not sponsored content, so we're gonna get straight to it. Come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Let me get this shit together real quick. Shout out to 608 in the building. Shout out to Ty. Ty, what you out doing? You out doing some late night, what is it you do? Uber, Lyft? One of them. You out doing some late night Ubering? What's up? What's up? What's up? Shout out to Jay Smart Guy. Shout out to Neil. How's mom? Mom's is doing good. Appreciate you for asking. Representing Sacramento, California. All right, boom. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. We're going to do something a little bit different this evening. We're going to pilot something. And we're going to see how it works. Work in progress. We're going to see something tonight. All right, so boom. I got a few topics that I want to go through. One of them was something Pippi sent me earlier today. I wonder if Crazy is crazy here tonight, because this is something that you probably could resonate with. Millions of Americans moving into hotels. I guess this is starting to be a trend. So this is the first thing I'm gonna react to. This video of these just different people across America that is taking up hotel living as a sense of normalcy. And then we're gonna get into this DC squatter Airbnb thing, and I'm gonna react to it. And I guess both of these topics kind of tie in with each other. Housing seems to be an issue across America. All right, so this is something that I want to react to this evening. So without further ado, I'm not gonna waste no time. Once again, this is a pilot. We're gonna see how this works. It's a work in progress, and then we're gonna go from there. Make sure you come on in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. What's up? Who was that? Shout out to Cloud. All right, boom. Let's get straight to it. It's late, you know, we don't want to waste no time with formalities. Here we go.
There is a rise in hotel living.
Come cook dinner with me as a family of 4, soon to be 5, currently living in a hotel room. Tonight I am cooking one of my comfort meals. This is something my mom made so often growing up that now it's just like, it tastes like home to me. It is gonna be a little different making this in a hotel room, but I'm excited for the challenge. So let's get cooking.
Yes, I live in this hotel. Yes, I pay $307 a week, and you're right, that is $1228 a month. And I'm gonna take you inside the room to show you everything that comes with. No, I didn't have to pay a deposit. I didn't have to do a background check. I didn't have to do a credit check. I didn't have to prove 3 times the amount of my income. I didn't even have to worry about getting my own utility.
So basically, based on what she's saying, this isn't necessarily homelessness. To me, what's going on with all these people moving into hotels, now I can't speak for Crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like this is not homelessness. This is like a new housing class. That's what it's starting to seem like it's starting to become. I don't think necessarily this is homelessness. I think this is a new housing class.
Utilities turned on, including Wi-Fi and trash service. And because I've been doing this for over 2.5 years, I got enough reward points for this little blanket here that they gave me. Yes, I can cook. There's 2 eyes on the stove. It don't have an oven, but I have a toaster oven. Looking to upgrade that one, and I brought the toaster. Also the microwave, and of course I had to bring our coffee pot. We've only been back in this one for 2 days, so don't pay attention to the mess, but we come in, I give them all of their stuff, and I replace it with ours. I'll be doing a more updated video to show y'all once we get the rest of our stuff in. And yes, I can receive my mail and packages here too. And no, this isn't for everyone. It works for us.
hotels aren't cheaper. So, hotels aren't cheaper. I don't think people are doing this by choice. And obviously this is not temporary anymore. Like once upon a time, people used to move in hotels temporary. I remember when one of my cousins first moved from Chicago about 18 years ago to Texas. He lived in a hotel for about 6 months to a year until he got his first apartment. He owns a house down there now. But I remember once upon a time, people that were transitioning would take up temporary living in hotels. But this doesn't seem like it's temporary anymore. This is becoming normal now.
It works for me. Oh, also, we have a refrigerator. Some of y'all asked that as well. Life isn't always perfect. Some of us have a little bit harder times in life. We take different roads that wasn't always great, some that had roundabouts, but at the end of the day, it's not about what you get, it's about appreciating what you got. And I am happy with my life.
So I've been living in a hotel for like a little over 2 weeks now. And I'm kind of thinking this is like the new move. I think I might do it long term. Let me explain. So every time I leave, I come back to a nice made bed, okay? Fresh towels, always have soap, shampoo, conditioner, all the good stuff. I get coffee made for me every morning. Look at that. I got breakfast waiting on me. I can just go out back and enjoy my beautiful pool. I got Wi-Fi. I got cartoons. I don't know what this is. I never have to worry about, plumbing or lawn maintenance. You always get that, since you're on vacation, so you sleep really well. At least I sleep really, really well in hotels, so. Plus, the bed's comfortable. The AC is cold as fuck. I can turn up as high as I want. It's kind of like living with a wife, but not having to deal with a wife, Because everything's kind of done for you. You don't have to answer to anybody. This might be the new move.
I live in a hotel room with my wife and 2 cats. Come check it out. So when you first come in, you immediately have the kitchen. Got a fridge, not full size, but
they really living it up in this joint. He done went to the extent of putting refrigerator magnets on the joint. So this ain't a temporary you dig for him when you go to the extent of putting refrigerator magnets on the joint.
Close, fit everything we need in there. Got the kitchen with our different little appliances, all our stuff, not stuff the hotel gave us, well, other than the microwave. Got the stove top, got our little dish center over here. We got our oven that I got us. We've got this little center right here with our mini fridge, our dry storage, canned goods, all that stuff. Back over here to the left by the front door, we've got the bathroom. All our hygiene supplies, we kind of made it our own with our own little shelves. Got shelves up in the shower to hold our stuff. The toilet, which I actually put a bidet on. Yep, I'm living in a hotel and put a bidet on my toilet. And then you come over here to the bedroom. King size bed, so that's nice. That's where the magic happens, if you know what I mean. And then we got the closet area right here. Storage up there. We got stuff stored underneath the bed. Then we come over here to the dresser with the TV, got the PlayStation behind it. We got our kitty Jasper here running around. Got one of the cat trees here. And then we got my gaming table, my gaming chair. And then right here behind, I got where I put our shoes, both hers and mine, my hats. Then we got our storage area for TikTok shop products. This is full. All those are full. That's full. This is the living room right here.
I wonder if the reason why they living in a hotel because they want to be full-time content creators instead of just getting a real job. TikTok shop. I hear a lot about TikTok shop. I'm not familiar with it. I'm assuming it's I guess TikTok shop is maybe like the Amazon web store, like TikTok has like its own marketplace where you can sell stuff on TikTok? Is that what it is? Somebody let me know in the chat.
Here, we got the litter box. We got the other little dresser with the smaller TV, another cat tree, you know, the window view right there. And then we've got the pull-out couch with the little table, another chair in here. And then in the back corner is my wife's altar where she does her magical things. So that's...
What the fuck was that? Magical things.
Another chair in here, and then in the back corner is my
what do you say, magical things? Was she like a witch or some shit? Magical things. What the fuck is that?
wife's altar where she does her magical.
His wife's altar? What is that? She like a witch? What the fuck is that?
Things. So that's it, everybody.
So last week I posted a video about my
So looking at these first couple of people so far, I think this is becoming a trend and it's becoming normal. We obviously know that rent has gone up sky high faster than wages, right? We know credit scores decide housing, right? Now more than ever. And, you know, a person is one emergency wipes out stability. I think a lot of people are moving into these hotels is because they just don't qualify for housing, apartments anymore. A lot of people don't have great credit scores. A lot of people don't make enough money, 3 times the amount of rent. Rent is really sky high. And with hotels, they don't ask for first and last month. They don't ask for security deposit. It's week to week. So it's like a low barrier, and you know, as long as you have the cash to rent out the hotel for the week, they'll just take your money week by week. You don't have all those barriers that are preventing you from going in there like you do, with an apartment. And I think because of a lack of work, whether people can't find work or whether they don't want to work, there's a lot of people that don't want to work. They want to be full-time content creators and do TikTok and shit like that. They just don't have the credit. They don't have the capital to be able to meet the requirements to get a traditional apartment nowadays.
extended stay hotel room. A lot of people wanted to know about price. It's about $50 a night. So that winds up to about $350 a week, about $1,500 a month, give or take, maybe $100, $200, depending on if you want 2 beds.
So depending on where she lives, $1,500 a month, that's probably about average. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, if you live in a big city, a 1-bedroom, depending on where you live, could range you somewhere between $1,500 to $2,000, depending on where you live at. Obviously, if you're in New York, if you're in Chicago, LA, it can be higher, but this may be normal for most places. But that's what I'm saying. It's probably just the barrier that a lot of these people can't get past, because if they're paying $1,500 still week to week, they probably just they probably don't have good credit, or they probably don't have, that first and that last month plus security deposit or whatever the move-in fees, depending on, the market you live in and the requirements to qualify for an apartment.
If you have animals, etc. But just for us, we got the basic package, simple room. We pay $1,500 a month. You can pay nightly, you can pay weekly, or you can pay monthly, or you can pay 2 or 3 days at a time, whatever works best for you. We don't have any bugs. There's no cockroaches. That was a major thing for me because I'm not gonna be able to deal with cockroaches. They're very clean, like I said, they're really cozy. There's not a lot of drug activity to speak of. If people are doing drugs here, you wouldn't know. There's not a lot of drama and police in and out and stuff. It's very peaceful and quiet.
One of the things that TikTok is exposing is how many people actually live in extended stay hotels and live in hotels in general. Because I've been covering different things about homelessness for years, and more on this app, you're seeing people who live in hotels full time. Like that's it. Like between people living in their cars, like RV van life was really touted on this app as like a viable solution for a lot of people, and then to see the people who tried that and showing how much it actually sucks for a lot of fucking people was important. But now to see the people talking about how they live in extended stay hotels and they have no idea how they would get into apartments, that's another important conversation to have, because when you think of people that are homeless, if they didn't have if something happened with that extended stay hotel, they would literally be out on the street. And some hotels, because they're worried about people having residency and residency rights, they will make you get out at a certain point.
So I said I'm living in a hotel for 2 months and everybody lost it. But thank God some of you guys understood what I was saying. My decision to choose a hotel instead of an Airbnb was because I'm not willing to.
I'm gonna leave Crazy alone, man. I ain't gonna mess with him no more. Man. I didn't know this was like a big deal, across the country. Sitting here just watching this, I think I'm blessed. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything you have blessed me with. But I think when you are not in these situations, you don't realize, how things have changed. Like, things have changed over the course of the years because you hear about things changing. You may hear stories here and there, but now, like, this is the first time I've actually been into, like, watching this. You're actually going into the room with them. They're showing you around. And I can look at certain things and kind of get the feel. I can tell, what, this person really ain't homeless. Obviously, they are, but they're not. Obviously, they're coming up with the money, still $1,500 a month. I just think this is just an easier way to get somewhere to live, because the barriers to get an apartment now are higher. Obviously, the cost of living is higher. These apartments are high. And, if an apartment is $1,500 and you got to put up $4,500, right, initially to get in, a lot of people don't just have that type of money. So looking at this, man, these people probably just, have probably bad credit scores or can't come up with first and last, or probably a combination of both. So I was me and my chick, we was downtown earlier this morning. We went to I had to go with her to court, not far from where I live, about maybe 7 or 8 minutes. And we just saw the tents in Grant Park, and to me it's not normal, right? Because seeing tents in the park, in Grant Park now, is not something that I'm accustomed to seeing. This is something new. Like, Chicago really had, there's always been homeless people, but homelessness here has never been like homelessness in like LA, like Skid Row. But now you just see homelessness all over the place, in places that you wouldn't have necessarily seen tents pop up. You're seeing them in parks now. Something still fairly new. You're seeing them tent cities pop up along the sides of expressways. You see tent cities popping up under different viaducts. So yeah, there's definitely a homelessness crisis. Let me not say a homelessness crisis. Let me say there's definitely a housing crisis going on in this country, for sure.
A ridiculous amount of money. I would rather save that money and take my kids out and have fun while we're here. Everybody was concerned about the traffic situation. I've heard of it, but this hotel where I'm staying, it's an extended stay. Yes, they have a bad rap for that, but everybody that I've seen coming in here are families. This is why I feel safe. You have a laundry, you have a gym, there's a pool at the end. I'll show it on the next video. This is the lobby. You need a card to get in. It might not be like this in other extended stays, but I love this one. It's in a corporate area. It's safe. It's clean. You don't see anybody just hanging around. And I gotta tell you, if I had to choose, if it was just me and my husband and we didn't have kids, I would be living in a hotel right now. We are here for work. That's why I said I'm staying here for 2 months. But with the prices that I see down here in South Florida, if I had to choose, I would be living in a hotel. No utilities, no last security, no credit check, easier to get in. And they provide breakfast. Some
Told you. And see, I haven't watched this. Pippi sent it to me to react to. She just said it. No first last month. Hold on, let me go back and listen to that.
I would be living in a hotel right now. We are here for work. That's why I said I'm staying here for 2 months. But with the prices that I see down here in South Florida, if I had to choose, I would be living in a hotel. No utilities, no last security, no credit check, easier to get in. And they provide breakfast. Some of the comments said, oh, you could stay in an Airbnb. We did stay in an Airbnb. The Airbnb was $800 a week. And next door was somebody with some type of security guy staying outside all night long. I did not feel safe. This is why we decided to go into a hotel. Yes, it's a smaller place, but it's clean. Look at the inside. We have enough space for the cabinets, for all my kitchen stuff. I have a full-size stove and fridge. What else could I want? This hotel here is fairly new. Actually, the room we just got was just remodeled, they said. We were the first people to stay in it. I'm not saying that every extended stay is going to be the same. So what I would say is do your research.
This is my fourth.
So my experience with extended stays, I've told my history and journey. After I worked at Target, I worked for an advertising company, and I would travel from different markets to work on different campaigns. I worked on McDonald's campaigns, Cricket Wireless, Metro PCS back then. This is 06 through 08. So Metro PCS, Bank of America, Verizon, so on and so forth. So a lot of these campaigns, when I would go to different markets, depending on how long the campaign was, obviously that would determine how long I had to stay in that market. So I remember I was in Houston, and I was working on I think it was Bank of America, if I'm not mistaken. It was either I think it was Bank of America. And that campaign was for a month. And the advertising company I would work for, they had corporate accounts. You could pick where you want to stay. They had corporate accounts with Red Roof Inn, Super 8, Motel 6, and also extended stay. If I went into a market and they had an extended stay deluxe, I would choose the extended stay deluxe. The rooms were a little bit bigger, and it was a little bit more expensive, but it was on the company. I'm traveling. I'm traveling for work. Anyway, I was in Houston, and I went to an extended stay. Now, mind you, this is 06 through 08. So something happened in the country, and a lot of people ended up in Houston. It was Katrina. So I'm in Houston with all I don't want to call them refugees. I would call them people that had to leave New Orleans. So when I was on that campaign, 06, 07, it was a lot of people from New Orleans there, and they were living in, FEMA put them up in different hotels, sort of kind of like how, Chicago and New York was putting like migrants up in hotels here, last year, the year before last. FEMA was putting a lot of these people that were displaced from New Orleans in hotels. The first extended stay I went to had roaches. Now, obviously, this wasn't, I didn't put this on extended stay. I kind of knew why. It was obvious because they had all these people that were living there and these just bad circumstances. So I left, and I ended up going to an extended stay that was right off of, I believe it was Westenheimer, if I'm not mistaken. There was some people there from New Orleans, but it wasn't as bad as the original one. I ain't gonna lie. I did see a roach right towards the end. Like, there was no escaping it. Like, the people from New Orleans pretty much taking over all the hotels in Houston at that time. It was an unfortunate situation. But I had never, because I'm just listening to this lady explain how clean it was. Out of all the extended stays that I've stayed in when I was working for that company, that was the only time I had ever come across a bad, situation. But it was due to, those people that were there from New Orleans. They had, I could only imagine what their rooms look like, you know what I'm saying? They probably gathered as much stuff as they could before they got out of New Orleans, and they brought all that shit with them, and they were just living. It was bad. Like, you seen people living like under overpasses, viaducts. It was rough. But that was my time with extended stays. I've stayed in extended stays in Miami, Baltimore, where else? Louisville. I've been all over this place with that company. But yeah, extended stay, pretty decent hotel rooms. You get your little living room suite, you know what I'm saying? King size bed, kitchenette, So I can see why people are choosing to live in an extended stay if they can't meet the requirements to get in a traditional apartment.
Video on my series about living in a hotel for the past 2 years. I just realized I haven't given any kind of like room tour or what it looks like after living in a hotel for so long, so I will do that now. So this is a quick pass over, that's my cat, of what my room looks like.
Why are these homeless people, man, I keep saying they're not homeless. Why are these people that's living in the hotels got cats? I'm allergic to cats. I can't rock with a cat. But the other people, they had 2 cats. Like, why they got cats, bro? What's up with hotel living and cats?
Like, I didn't get anything ready, so this is just what it is. You'll get used to living out of boxes a little bit. I don't get into these too much. It's more clothes, like I put away my warmer clothes because I don't need them. It's getting pretty warm where I am. This bed used to be out this way, but I moved it, and I keep kind of my cat stuff here. He likes to lay on this bed a lot. This is my chair of clothes that I've worn, but I consider not completely dirty, so I can wear them again. That's the bed where I sleep, so it's on the other side of the room. I like to be away from the window. It's less noisy. This is the entertainment center with the TV and everything. That thing is just a sculpture a coworker made for me. This is, I guess, the kitchen /office. This is the fridge and microwave from the cooking video. These have some dishes and stuff in them. And then I have kind of my food and dishes in this area, as well as some like office supplies and everything.
You said, am I allergic to what? Mark allergic to pushy. I'm allergic to cats. Not the pussy cats. I'm allergic to feline cats. Feline type cats, not the other type cat. You dig what I'm saying? It's late night, so we could get a little graphic. You dig? I'm allergic to feline cats, not the other cat. You dig? Don't get it fucked up around this motherfucker.
There. The bathroom is kind of split, so you have the sink and everything out here, and then the toilet and shower in there. This is also where I have to wash dishes, so I try to keep this counter space like really clean all the time. And then I have the litter box underneath the sink. And again, from the laundry video, this is where I hang clothes to dry. So yeah, it's not huge or anything. The only thing I wish I had was like a kitchen or something, maybe a bigger fridge or whatever. This fridge does have a small freezer, but it doesn't actually freeze anything. But the room does what I need it to do, and I've been happy here.
So it's officially been a week homeless as a family of 7, and so far we're navigating it pretty well, I'd like to say. Okay, hold up. I just played that back, and that sounds way better than when I was trying to do it in the bathroom with everybody in the hotel room. That was not working. Okay, let's get back to it. Like I said, we've been navigating it pretty well. We've just been keeping to our pretty normal routine. I mean, it is currently spring break, and that's definitely added some chaos to it.
Oh, no, bro. Not the kid. God damn it. God. Why did I have to see this shit? Damn, bro. Jesus Christ. Not the damn kid, bro.
But it is what it is. I actually enjoy having my babies with me through this time because I just feel like the more we're together, the more we can process everything.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, Jesus. Where the BD at? She got it's a brand new baby. Baby look like it got a little black in it a little bit, don't it? Let me look at the other boy. Hold on,
I mean, it is currently spring break, and that's definitely.
Oh, yeah, she got her brother. She got a brother. It's a brother hitting that. Look at this kid. See that little the nappiness? You see the nappiness in the kid? It's a brother hitting that snow bunny. It's a brother hitting that. She got a, I don't want to call, see, I ain't seen him. I don't want to call him a Pookie. But it's a brother hitting that. Look at the little boy hair. See how nappy it is?
Definitely added some chaos to it, but it is what it is. I actually enjoy having my babies with me through this time because I just feel like the more we're together, the more we can.
Now look at that baby. See, it got the dark in it because the mama pale than a motherfucker. She pale. She need to go get her a tan. But see the little darkness in that baby? It's a brother hitting that.
Process everything, and we're just honestly stronger together as a family.
In case you missed it, we live in a hotel full time and we just experienced something we've never experienced before. I don't know if this is a Tennessee thing or if it happens everywhere, but they wouldn't allow us to stay more than 28 days in the same room. Apparently over 20.
Wait, this a different family. This ain't the same people, is it? No. Yeah, because the other lady was, yeah, it's a different, let me see. Yeah. That's a different lady. Okay, she a brunette.
We live in a hotel full time and we just experienced something we've never experienced before. I don't know if this is a Tennessee thing or if it happens everywhere, but they wouldn't allow us to stay more than 28 days in the same room. Apparently over 28 days you can claim residency, and we've definitely stayed in a couple of hotels for more than 28 days. So does that make us a Tennessee resident? If so, we're keeping our state income tax this year. Adam has had a hotel room in his name in Georgia since October of last year, so I'm not sure. Maybe we're a resident of Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. I'm not really sure at this point. But since he moved all of our...
Look at these walls. Look. You see this? This is a hotel. It's not even that big. We live in a hotel. We just got fresh linen. Do you get that at an apartment? No, you don't. We save.
You can't get that. Man, get your goofy ass on somewhere. What the fuck is you talking about? Do you get that in an apartment? Yeah, you get that in an apartment. You go to, goddammit, Bed Bath & Beyond, or you go to Target, or you go to Macy's and you buy you a goddammit new bed set. What is he talking about? Do you get that in an apartment? I got thread counts on my bed. Fresh. As soon as I get off this live stream, I'm finna go lay in them. You do get that shit. What is wrong with you? Tweaking. He trying to justify living in a hotel. That's what he trying to do. I mean, if he on hard times, I ain't cooking them, you know what I'm saying, because he living on, I'm cooking them based off what he said. Do you get these in an apartment? Nigga, yeah. You go buy them shits.
We live in a hotel. We just got fresh linen. Do you get that at an apartment?
Just by him saying that, you know he old nasty motherfucker. He an old nasty motherfucker. What you mean do you get fresh linen at your house or your apartment? Yeah. If you don't go buy them, you go wash them motherfuckers. Fresh. What you old nasty motherfucker.
A hotel. It's not even that big. We live in a hotel. We just got fresh linen. Do you get that at an apartment? No, you don't. We save money too by living here longer. Okay? And we can leave whenever we want. This is a hotel. Look at this. This is not an apartment. We live in a hotel. That's crazy. That's crazy. I like it. I never thought that I would want to live in a hotel, but I do, and I like it. Look at these walls. You see these walls? Hotel. You see this?
What's so different about the walls? I see the walls. What? Listen, I'm not making fun of the fact that I'm making fun of the fact that this shit he's saying is stupid. What's wrong? What's up with the walls, bro? We see the walls, nigga. The paint ugly than a motherfucker. That's some ugly ass paint, bro. Especially that mustard one. That green eye, but that mustard shit ugly than a motherfucker. Yeah, we see the walls.
Never thought that I would want to live in a hotel, but I do, and I like it. Look at these walls. You see these walls?
Yeah. What's up with them?
Hotel. You see this? Would you live in a hotel? I'm living in a hotel or an apartment because I don't have to pay nothing. I don't have to pay utilities. They give me fresh linen. I don't get that. I don't have to worry about nothing.
He keeps saying they giving him fresh linen, bro. Nigga, I got fresh linen every other day, dog. He got a lot of emphasis on the fresh linen, bro. He might be old funky motherfucker, man.
Apartments, you gotta worry about all this stuff.
So most of you don't know, but
What you gotta worry about? I don't get that. I don't have to worry about nothing. Apartments, you gotta worry about all this stuff.
Oh, hell no. You heard how he said you don't gotta worry about all this stuff. The way I wish I had fruits. I wish I had that in my sound. Remember when Soulja Boy was like, fruits? I gotta get like a little funny drop for when motherfuckers do little suspect shit like that.
Hey, utilities, they give me fresh linen. I don't get that. I don't have to worry about nothing. Apartments, you gotta worry about all this stuff.
so most of
Oh shit. Oh man, he might be a little suspect, yo.
you don't know, but I live in a hotel, and I've been doing this for about a year. It helps to save up money, but this is my little hotel room. As soon as you see, of course, as soon as you walk in, on the right side, I got the little hotel refrigerator and microwave. They gave us a double bed. And of course, that's the little sitting area, but we don't use it except for clothes and stuff. I went ahead and got an ice cooler because I drink a lot of tea. And when I fill up the refrigerator, it doesn't want to fit, so we got the cooler. And usually we put the milk in there too, but so I took off the hotel bedding, except for the sheets, and put on my own little comforter. And of course, I've got our medicines and our little dresser right there. And of course, we all like to have some good smells in our room, so I got Glade candles, and I've got Febreze. I love the smells of these, so that's my stockpile right there. And I'm a crocheter, so that's one of the blankets I'm currently working on. It's just a scrap blanket, and I put all my yarn and stuff in bins underneath the table because there's no place to really store it. On the other side over here, as I'm walking towards the bathroom, there's more bags and stuff and bins of yarn, but that little circular light and stuff back there is for our videos for TikTok. And
I'm not laughing at
this is how we cook, or I cook anyways. I got an electric skillet, cook a lot of fried chicken in there. I got my toaster oven, and of course the crock pot. And I went over to Dollar General and I purchased 4 of these cube stands, and I ended up making, our own little pantry. So today I'm going to be making chicken and noodles. It's like a soup, but it's just basically chicken and noodles. Cook the chicken all night, and then that's our little closet area. We don't have much clothes except for the stuff that we have for work, and not very much clothes. And I did a little organization up here of my pants for the toaster oven, and that's the water I'm getting ready to boil here for my noodles, my egg noodles. And this is basically the sink in there. It's like my kitchen area. And then there's the bathroom. We did use our own towels and things. I mean, the hotel provides towels and stuff, but I like our own. But here's the whole view of the hotel.
I'm not laughing at
It's what we've been living in for a year or so.
God damn, bro. Man, bro, every time I go to one and I see these little kids, bro, it should be just pissing me off, man. it's another kid in that too? Oh, God, Lord, have mercy, bro. What the hell are we coming to in this world, bro? And them little kids, so that means she fucking recently. So what is the guide, bro?
So I've been living in a hotel for like 4 months now. Not the best experience, like not as good as you would expect. So I just thought I'd share some things that I've learned and some experiences I've had while living in a hotel. Multiple hotels. I switch.
She looked like she ran away. She looked like she don't gotta live in a hotel. Low key. She looked like she probably ran away from home or some shit like that.
But for one, something I recently experienced and learned was that the lock thing that you like use, that you put your card against, the battery will die. And they have to change it. And you get locked out of your room, which is really annoying. And then you have to wait.
See what I'm saying? Like a person who really like homeless that's living in a hotel ain't tweaking on no shit like the lock on the door is for, the key card lock. They not tripping. They not looking at shit like that. They not gonna make a ticky-tock about no shit like that. They gonna be doing like what you just saw the little Hispanic lady doing, cleaning and keeping the room clean. You could tell that lady, even though she living in that hotel with her kids, she thankful for it. She's keeping it clean and things like that. This lady is complaining about the goddamn key card lock. That's what I'm telling you. I could tell as soon as I looked at her, I could sense entitlement. She a runaway type shit. She don't want to be at home because she don't want to listen to her parents type shit.
They have to come change it. The engineer has to come change out all the batteries, test the batteries, do all the stuff before you can get into your room. So if it flashes red, sometimes that's what it means. People will come into your room. The system, not good. I've had at least 3 people now in different hotels get a key, get the correct room number, like the front desk gives it to them, says, this is your room, here's your key. They come up, I'm already in the room. They double book or something.
This message is specifically for my people that are living in a hotel, a motel, Holiday Inn. If you have been going through your journey and living in that hotel for over 30 days, you need to take your ass up to that front desk and you need to ask them rather, to take the taxes off your room. After 30 days, you become exempt, technically.
Hey, the sister gonna have all the little licks. She gonna have all the little schemes and the licks and everything that you can get to save even more money.
But they are not going to take those taxes off unless you ask. Because technically you live at the property now. You don't need to be, that's a different story. You didn't hear that from me though. You know what I'm saying? If it has been well over 30 days, 9 times out of 10, you have a credit on your reservation. But it's going to take somebody with common sense to sit down any day after the 30 days that they've taken your taxes off. And the credit literally should pop up by itself. So you might got some free days, might be a 3-fold, might be a week, depending on how long you've been there. But I know I just helped somebody you up.
So people are moving into hotels because they say that it is cheaper to live in a hotel. They do not need to sign a lease. They don't have to worry about qualifying for rent. And
I know she not living in no hotel. She little Latino mommy, ain't she? Little little mommy, ain't she? She can't be living in no hotel, dog.
Of course, people are not able to afford a home nowadays, so this is one of their new alternatives. They also are claiming that they're able to save on utilities because You don't have to pay anything else except the room, and people are claiming that you are exempt from taxes once you stay over a certain amount of days. Now, this is something that I have not heard of before, so if you have, let me know down in the comments below. Now, living in a hotel is nothing new. People have been doing it for a long time, but there is an increase in the amount of people doing it, and it's being called hidden homelessness because you are not necessarily seeing these people on the streets, but they are living in a hotel, going from place to place. Unfortunately, with the way housing costs are going in this country, more and more people are going to be struggling and finding it almost impossible to find a place to rent due to the fact that prices are so astronomical. People are losing their jobs. People have bad credit. There are all kinds of reasons why they cannot qualify for a home. And if you are working, a lot of times you're not making enough nowadays to cover 3 times the monthly rent, which is what they want to see on the application process. So everybody should be considering right now what they're going to do in the future. If you are renting an apartment or renting a home and the rent goes up, are you able to afford it? What happens if you lose your job? Do you have savings so that you are able to pay your rent for some time before you find somewhere else to stay? And if you do find somewhere else, it's probably going to be more expensive than what you're paying now. So what are you going to do? Make sure you're saving some money right now. Maybe think about if you are able to go and live with family for a while. If it does come down to that, who would that be? I know a lot of people comment on my channel all the time and they say that they don't get along with their family and they would never be able to live with them. And if that's the case, what are your plans? Think of a plan B right now. If you were to lose your job, if you find yourself in a situation that you can no longer afford rent or afford your mortgage payments, what are you going to do? It's good to think about these things now and not just at the last minute. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't plan ahead, and then something happens.
That's something that I always talk about, though, when it comes to trucking. I know this is not trucking content, but to the people that watch me, for trucking, I say that all the time, plan for unforeseen situations. And I always use for the business perspective, but also from just your life. So I agree with her. You got to plan for the unexpected. The unexpected is always going to come. You just don't know what form it's going to come in, how much it's going to cost you. You just got to be prepared for it.
And they find themselves in a buckle. So really be proactive right now. If you are in a comfortable spot, make sure you're putting some money aside. Make sure you're thinking about what you could do if later on you're not able to live where you are or you can't afford where you are anymore. Think about these things now, and that way it can help set you up later on for success. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments and thoughts down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.
All right, so that was the first thing I wanted to react to, the homelessness crisis. It looks like it's a thing, and like she said, I can agree it is going to get worse as time goes on. Obviously, the cost of living is going to continue to rise. Rent is going to continue to go up. Obviously, wages aren't scaling with the rate of the cost of rent, and more Americans are going to continue to be displaced, both from renting aspect and then even from the home buyers aspect. Less people are able to afford to buy homes right now. You got married couples that have combined incomes and they still don't qualify for a starter home. Starter home now is, depending on where you live, could be $350,000, $400,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting tough out here, man. And it's just something I talk about all the time, man. People got to start taking shit more serious, and and not everybody can be a streamer or a content creator. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to really get out of that mindset of not wanting to work and be your own boss, and grab a job, grab a career now while you can, because I'm telling you, in the next 5 to 10 years, a job is going to be a luxury. And if you're lucky and you're blessed enough to have one, you're going to be the minority, man. People are going to wish they had a job in another 5 to 10 years. So that was that. Sorry. So now let's get into this other one, since we're covering the housing market. So a couple of weeks ago, this lady went viral for squatting in an Airbnb, and she refused to leave. She has since been evicted. But I wanna react to the initial news report when it went viral, when everybody started to jump on it a week or two ago. And I want to react to that first, and then we'll just go through the period of the eviction and the court and all that shit.
All of the responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
A D.C. homeowner claiming an Airbnb guest has overstayed their welcome and will not leave. In this story you'll only see on 7 News, we're digging into D.C. law, finding out there's not much that homeowner can do. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley spoke with the homeowner and tried to speak with the alleged squatter.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now that was back in February. Roshane Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation almost 10 months ago. That reservation ended March 29th after 32 days, and Romero hasn't paid another dime. But living in the home for over...
And see, this is why I never did Airbnb. And I think I remember talking to, I think it was Kirk or somebody. I don't know. I was talking to somebody, and I was just like, bro, no, Airbnb ain't, I don't like the business model. I didn't like Airbnb's business model. I didn't like Toro's business model. And I know during the pandemic, a lot of people was, buying cars and renting cars. Obviously, that Toro shit is dead now. Motherfuckers ain't renting nothing on it. A lot of those people that bought all those cars during the pandemic has got those cars repoed because people just not renting cars like that. And then this Airbnb business, like, man, the squatters done got a hold of it. You know what I'm saying? That's a lick. You dig what I'm saying? That's another reason I didn't get caught up in this shit.
A month apparently lets her claim some form of tenant rights, and she refuses to let Roshane enter the property.
I never gave her any tenancy. I never gave her a lease.
Roshane tried everything, gave her a 30-day notice to vacate, called police, went to court, and even offered Romero $2,500 to sign a paper admitting she's not a tenant and to get out. Romero signed the document, but didn't budge.
November the 15th came and she told me, this no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving. I went to the police with my order, and they said there's nothing that they can do, that I need to go to court, which I've done, and I do not have a court date until December the 11th.
Roshane put this sign up on her home so police and neighbors would know Romero was not authorized to be there. A sign Romero covered with a sheet.
I need police assistance.
I was there when police helped Roshane cut it down. While
Man, so much shit I could say about this already, bro. But let me just let it go.
Romero hid inside.
It's shocking to me that you would abuse a system.
She playing with her because she a woman. If she had a man, this shit wouldn't, I swear for you, this shit wouldn't be going like this. It wouldn't go this way. That woman, she preying on the fact that she a woman. You not finna, listen, fuck them squatting rights. We coming in there. We gonna deal with however we gotta deal with it. You coming up out of there. And that's on the real. Let somebody try to take over one of my properties and tell me they ain't gonna leave. On everything I love, you coming up out of there. So, she went about things, the passive route, the nice route, you know what I'm saying, following the law. I don't got time for all that shit. And the lady took advantage of her.
Like that.
While all this is going on, Romero's social media shows her living her best life on trips and promoting her nonprofit.
Look at she doing the stanky leg she doing the stanky leg. Hold on. You mean to tell me she's squatting in the lady crib while she on the cruise ship? Then somebody asked me in the live stream earlier, Mark, you ain't going on cruise? Hell no, because this who on the cruise. I don't want to be on no cruise with, what's her name, Shanika? She on the fucking cruise doing the stanky leg and ain't paid no rent in a year.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Going on. Romero's social media shows her living her best life on trips. And promoting.
She in the damn hotel cabin, I don't know what. Jamaica. She in Jamaica. She in Montego Bay. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been to Montego Bay. I stayed at the Wild Orchid. This shit right here, she in some cheap shit. This shit got red carpet. When you go to a nice spot, you got the outdoor with the swim up pool joint. This some inside. I don't know what that fuck that is. That's some cheap shit. You dig what I'm saying? But she doing cartwheels. She doing cartwheels in Jamaica while she ain't paying no rent. Then took over the lady Airbnb. You dig what I'm saying? She got the double queen. I guess this her guy. They can't get the king size. They can. You know when you go to book a room, the first room where they get the +0. You know what I'm saying? They give you the double queen. Nah, nigga, we need the king size. I'm on an island with my boo babe. I don't want no double queen. Give me that king, cause I'm in that. You dig what I'm saying? This is what they give you for the cheap. You dig what I'm saying? So she took the cheap room. Where is this at? I don't know where that's at, but she over here doing the stanky leg, and she ain't paying no rent. Look at the look.
And Roshane is left paying thousands in attorney fees, the mortgage, and utilities for a home she can't even enter.
Now look, the lady who owned the fucking place, she up on the ladder. She ain't got no man. She up on the ladder. The lady done put a sheet over the goddamn sign. She got to climb up on the ladder and cut the sheet down. She need to get a guy. I keep telling these women, you can't do it by yourself. Y'all think y'all boss bitches and all this shit, and this proves that you need a man.
Attorney fees, the mortgage, and utilities for a home she can't even enter. I tried to get some answers from Romero, who was clearly inside the home, but she never came to the door. When a person walked out to her car, they didn't want to talk to us either. Roshane is waiting now for her court date next week.
You said this in the hood? You said this in the hood, Mark. Man or not, he risking getting shot. Listen, big dog. Let me pull you on the big screen. Pimp. Listen. It's your crib. They risking getting shot. We gonna listen. It's ways to go about things, pimp. She just ain't, because she a woman, you know, clearly she ain't got a man, right? Because she wouldn't have been climbing the ladder and all that shit. It's ways to get shit done, big dog. I'm just gonna say that, right? It's ways to get shit done. Listen, if she's taking vacations, that means she's leaving the place. If we got to camp out there until she leave and then run in there, change the locks, have dogs come, put the metal board up there so she can't get back in, and that's what we got to do. That's what I'm saying. It's ways about things. All them trips she took, that means she's out the country for periods of time while still squatting. All those times when she was on cruises and out the country, that's when you go in there and you shut that bitch down. It ain't got to come to no violence. She ain't going to hold up in that motherfucker forever. That's what I'm saying. It ain't got to necessarily be no violence.
Where she's hoping the judge's decision will allow U.S. Marshals to force her unwanted guest out once and for all. For now, reporting from Northeast D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
7 News has been reporting on reforms to rental housing laws in the district. Back in September, City Council passed the Rental Act. Supporters of the legislation say D.C. landlords lost more than $1 billion in unpaid rent since eviction moratoriums were lifted in 2021. The measure simplifies the eviction process and allowed landlords to remove tenants who violate their leases by not paying rent. Those against the act say...
Let's see what she
all of the responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
A D.C. homeowner claiming an Airbnb guest has overstayed their welcome and will not leave. In this story you'll only see on 7 News, we're digging into D.C. law, finding out there's not much that homeowner can do. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley spoke with the homeowner and tried to speak with the alleged squatter.
I ain't go to squatter gonna talk.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now that was back in February.
So
Roshane Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation.
I'm locked out. This is taking me somewhere where I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to stay on the right, but for somebody to just take and do, everybody has a breaking point.
Bro.
I went back to the property today and saw child services show up because Shadija brought her daughter into the home while there was no power or electricity inside.
She coming in and out. Man, when she leave out the crib, go ahead and send the dogs in there and board it up. She getting Amazon packages. She ain't got no lights in there. Child Protective Services done came.
Police also showed up because the homeowner's truck went missing after Shadija got back in the house. And when Shadija cracked the door open to get a package, I saw what appears to be a candles and essential oils business inside.
This is
See, this is what I'm saying. What we saw when we was watching the other video. You got people that want to do TikTokies, and then they want to be entrepreneurs and selling oil and shit, bro. This is what I'm saying. Everybody want to be a boss. Get a job, bro. Get a job, bro. It's only like everybody can't be Kai Sanat, and not everybody gonna be able to be what's buddy from TikTok that go around and do the restaurants and shit like that. Everybody ain't gonna be him, bro. And I think I could be wrong. I think this is a big reason why a lot of people can't, are homeless, man, because they don't want to go to work. They want to be TikTokers, and they want to fucking start these businesses thinking that these shits is gonna blow up. And that's not the case, bro. Majority, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, bro. Shit crazy.
Unbelievable.
That led to a virtual emergency hearing today. In court, it was revealed that Shadija tried to push Roshane off a ladder, took the utilities out of the homeowner's name and put it in her daughter's name, tampered with cameras, requested that Roshane pay her back for the food lost when the power was turned off.
See what I'm saying? She got the power cut off, and then the squatter trying to lean on the owner of the crib to pay her for the food that's spoiled. Little lady, you living in the crib for free. So this is what I'm saying, bro. She playing with this lady because
Oh, and she asked the judge if she could question Roshane as a hostile witness. I was with Roshane as she attended the hearing from her car outside the home.
And the sad part is, I feel sorry for her. I really do. But your problem is, I can't. This
you
is
hear
not
that? She said she feels sorry for the lady. That's why the lady taking advantage of her. You can't feel sorry for her. This is business. She knows, she sees your weakness. That's why she playing with her. I told you. She feel bad for her. Look at it, man.
As she attended the hearing from her car outside the home.
And the sad part is, I feel sorry for her. I really do.
And the sad part is, I feel sorry for her. I really do. See?
Roshane.
That's what got her into this situation. I guarantee you, when that lady's Airbnb expired, that lady sold her some bullshit and she went for it. And that's when the lady knew she had her. Instead of the landlord standing on business off rip. Nah, you gotta go. She gave her a reprieve and that was it. She saw the weakness.
Daughter's name, tampered with cameras, requested that Roshane judge if she could question Roshane as a hostile witness. I was with Roshane as she attended the hearing from her car outside the home.
And the sad part is, I feel sorry for her. I really do. But your problem is, I can't, this is not my, I can't help you. But I do truly feel sorry for her and her child and all of this. And I have a big heart, and this is the outcome of me having a big heart. But I really hope somebody can help her, but you can't do it at my expense. I don't have it. If the judge doesn't give me some release, I'm going to lose my property because I can't pay $4,000 a month and my other bills and my responsibilities like this.
See what I'm saying? And this is why I say, when I say these things, when I do my earlier live streams about business, you got people that come in and be like, they get upset and shit. The person that you help will ultimately take advantage of you and you'll lose all your shit. So when you're doing business, real estate, trucking, whatever, it's okay to have a heart, but you need to pick and choose, and you need to have a level of discernment, and you need to, be careful who you give reprieves to. Like you gotta know who's, a good person who's gonna, do what they say, or say what they're going to do and do what they say versus the people that's just looking for a weakness in you so that they can take advantage of you. And this lady saw the weakness in this lady, and she took advantage of her. She's been taking advantage of her since February, March of this year. Even to this point, she feels bad. Goes back to what I said. I guarantee you she had a man, this shit would have been different. We just got different. We don't process shit the same way. This lady is finna lose her shit and she still feels bad for the lady. Fuck that lady. That lady don't give a fuck about you. That lady is on vacation, multiple vacations, doing fucking flips and cartwheels and shit, and holding your shit hostage. Fuck that lady, man. She don't give a fuck about you. And I'm saying that now after, this is not like, we see, like, it'd be different if I was saying this before this played out. Then you could have an argument. Mark, man, come on, man, you got to have a heart. Bro, listen, this is business. But now, even after seeing the lady taking trips, and it's been 9 months and she ain't paid and she finessing the lady, she on vacation and shit like this, this lady still talking about she feel bad. She fucking crying, talking about she feel bad for the lady and the kids, and she finna lose the place, and she got repairs to do, and it's finna go into foreclosure because she can't pay the mortgage because she ain't got no tenants. Fuck that lady, man. Fuck her kids. Fuck all of that shit. They gotta go. What is you talking about? They don't get two fucks about you. Fuck them kids. Man, they gotta go.
There's no recourse for me.
Just moments ago, as we were working on this live shot and this report, Shadija came up to our car and said that we could finally speak to her. This is what she had to say, or part of what she had to say during our 15-minute conversation.
She said that we didn't have a lease, which we do not have a lease in place, but we did have an agreement for me to stay at the property beyond the initial Airbnb time frame. So she's been back to the property almost every day. They installed signs.
Now, coming up what happened today is that there was an emergency hearing because of everything that unfolded. In that hearing, the judge did tell Roshane she has to turn back on the electricity. Now, there is another hearing next week where the judge will decide whether Shadija can stay or if she has to go. Now, reporting live from Northeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
And Felicia will have more on this story online, WJLA.com.
What a story.
All right, Tom. Well, only on 7 News. It's a bizarre dispute between two women involving an Airbnb property in the district. The owner claims a squatter is refusing to leave and locked her out. We spoke with the owner on Wednesday.
All of the responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
Our Felicia Ashley also spoke with the alleged squatter. Felicia is now joining us live. Felicia, this story just unravels to get more and more interesting. What can you tell us about what the alleged squatter has to say?
Right. Well, I spoke with her and she maintains the fact that she says she is a tenant. And she says after her 30-day Airbnb stay got extended, she says she fell in hard times, some unfortunate situations, said she lost a lot of money. And that's why she couldn't leave at the set date that she had with the homeowners.
But she was on trips and shit, though. She was doing cartwheels in Jamaica. So she wasn't on too bad of a hard time now.
I sat down with an emotional Shadija Romero inside Rochelle Douglas's home. Did you book the Airbnb with the intention of staying?
No, I did not book the Airbnb with the intent of staying.
So why are you still here?
Because after the repairs were done, the place still smelled like fire and there was water damage. So the water damage was more substantial.
They ain't got shit to do with this lady. That's bullshit. You had a fire, you supposed to have renter's insurance. Renter's insurance, they would have put you in a hotel. They would have cut you a check. That's the purpose of renter's insurance. So just because she had a fire in the previous place, that don't mean you come take my place and lean on me and take my place hostage and don't pay me rent, and I still got to pay mortgage. That's cool. But that shit ain't got shit to do with me. That's what insurance comes in place. And if the insurance don't cover it, you got to figure something else out.
Than the fire damage.
You didn't go back to your apartment because it still smelled like smoke.
And water damage.
What makes you choose to stay here?
That's it. See, you trying to get somebody to feel bad for you, bro. No, that shit ain't got nothing to do with this lady.
Instead, when the homeowner has made it clear she doesn't want you here, doesn't want to be a landlord, there's now no utilities on, there's wood boarded up, there's a sign outside saying she doesn't want you here. What's making you choose to stay?
So no, that didn't start until literally this month.
What did it start?
The sign on the building or the utility, that wasn't something that happened prior to this point, prior to this month. So if that had happened months ago and that was something that I've been dealing with for months, I would leave. So now, with all of this going on, I am going to leave.
Romero says she is still going to have the Douglases go through the full court process to get her out because of what she says they have put her through and for labeling her as a squatter.
Squatter is someone who is illegally entered the property without your notice and you never had an agreement with them.
It's also
get the fuck out of here, bro. You rented the place 1 month for Airbnb. Airbnb, February. You paid February and you never left. You're squatting. You done took that apartment. You done took that house hostage. You're not paying. What are you talking about? They labeled you a squatter. You are a squatter. You're not paying any rent. It's been past 90 days. She should have been out. And this how I know it's more to the story, bro. She should have been out 90 days, the eviction process. But see, the thing is this Airbnb shit, and this is why I would never do this shit, because I don't think it's an actual lease. I think that's what made this situation unique. Because if it was an actual lease, 90 days, the eviction process starts. Because, okay, March, April, May. The eviction process should have started beginning of the summer. It's December. So I would never do this Airbnb shit.
not just if the home's vacant, it's if you're there without the owner's permission and you're not leaving.
Yes, if you had maybe that other part is there.
Coming up at 6, more from Shadija and why she says she is a tenant, although there is not a lease that exists between the two. I also spoke with an
attorney. I just said it. How are you a tenant when there's no lease?
For both tenants and landlords in these situations, and he explains how.
That's what makes you a squatter. It's just like if I have a place and it's vacant, right? It's transitioning. The person moves out, and I got it posted for rent, you know what I'm saying? And it's vacant temporarily. And a neighbor recognizes that the place is vacant. They break in and they live in there. And let's say I happen to go by there 2-3 weeks later just to check on the place, and it's a whole family living in there. There's no paperwork. Technically, they're a squatter. Illinois law, I gotta go through the squat. The squatters got laws that protect them. Technically, I'm not supposed to go in there and lay their ass down and drag their motherfucking ass out. I can't do it technically by law because there's laws that protect squatters. So this lady is a squatter, right? Because there's no lease and she refuses to leave. She's a squatter. There's laws protecting her, but the process that you would go through if you have a tenant with the lease is a little bit different because there's a paperwork, there's a paper trail there. Squatters, they they get more leniency for some reason. I don't understand.
Homeowners unwillingly walk themselves into these situations and become landlords. For now, reporting live from Northeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
More now on a story that's getting a lot of reaction online. A DC homeowner claims a woman has taken over her rental home and refuses to leave. And up until now, she's run into one legal brick wall after another. So joining us now is Aaron Sokolow, a DC-based lawyer who specializes in landlord and tenant cases. Aaron, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to us about this, because this has just been a wild story, and it's raised probably the biggest question is, how is squatting even allowed to happen?
So in theory, squatting is not legal, and the homeowner should have some remedy. The problem is in the logistical way that a homeowner can get a remedy. And what you're describing in this case that you've been reviewing is that there's a dispute. The individual who's there says she's a tenant. The homeowner says that she's not.
She's not a tenant.
And you go down to court on an emergency hearing, and there's a judge sitting there.
She's not a tenant because she doesn't have a lease. She's not a tenant. She's a squatter. She's a squatter. She's a squatter. You're squatting. You're not a tenant. You don't have a lease.
The judge is going to hear from both, but the district is so pro-tenant and so fearful that there will be a wrongful eviction or a self-help eviction where the owner changes locks or turns off utilities or does something to cause occupant to leave without court order, that the judge is going to err on the side of caution. And if the occupant can show something that leads the court to say that there's a possibility that she's allowed to stay there, the court could grant the occupant's request at an injunction and mandate that the owner keeps her there until she gets awarded a proper eviction. And the problem is, in the district, that can take months and months, and it puts homeowners in a really tough spot in the situation you've described.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you're shining so much light on the court process, what that actually looks like. That being said, would you say the laws in DC are favorable to squatters?
Yeah.
Well, they're favorable to tenants, and one person's squatter is another person's alleged squatter, an actual tenant, and the court is going to make sure that it finds out the answer to that preliminary question of has that individual achieved tenancy status or not. And so you're starting with the conclusion that the person's a tenant, but that individual has a right to go to court and try to prove that she's actually a tenant and afforded all of the rights of tenants in the district. And therein lies the rub. It's not easy to get a court to find an answer to that question. It seems simple. In the eyes of the law, it could become very complicated, especially in the district.
How common is this? You say especially in the district. How common is this problem?
I have personally been involved in a handful of these over the years. So it's not every day that you see it. It's certainly a worst case scenario, but I've seen it before. So it's not a unicorn. It's something that comes up. Remember, in the district, you don't need to have a written lease. You know, a tenant can be defined very broadly. So if an individual can
DC,
comment,
y'all don't gotta have
case,
a written lease. Oh man, bro, I would never. Oh man, bro, DC, bro. I thought it was bad here. At least here you gotta have a lease.
It's a utility bill is in their name, and that's a common factor that a court would look at. If the tenant, if the occupant can say, you know, here's my proof of some payment, that can be enough. You know, I've had cases where my client, a property owner, a landlord, says this person literally broke in, but by the time, you know, it gets to the courthouse, they have some mail with their name in the property.
See, that's a technicality. That's a loophole, and that's the squatters, which are scammers. They know all that. They break in, they get something cut on in their name so that they can get some mail there with their name on it, and that's the finesse.
The address on it or something like that, and the court proceeds out of an abundance of caution and is so hesitant to sign off on a self-help eviction that they say, well, you know, because the prejudice to locking this person out would be so high, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt until we can get to the bottom of that. And get to the bottom of that can be a trial that's held 9 months later.
Just the timeline, which as we kind of were seeing in the package, the payments, this can be excruciating for people trying to pay and not even living at a property in the meantime. Aaron, what can homeowners actually do then in a situation like this?
My biggest recommendation is to be present and to understand what's going on. Accidental landlords, you know, if you just say, oh, I'm not an institutional landlord, I'm just renting out my room. They are held to the same rigors and standards as every other landlord in the city. So being knowledgeable about the law, being knowledgeable about what a court might say about these certain situations is of the utmost importance, as is being hands-on at the property. Usually when I've seen this, there's some length of time where they say, oh, you know, we didn't check on that unit for a while and we don't know what's been going on there. If you catch this right away, you might have a better chance at fending off an allegation that your squatter can allege a tenancy.
Why do you think, from your experience and what you've seen, the more hasn't been done to protect landlords and homeowners?
There's a very well coordinated and well educated and talented group of pro-tenant lobby in the district that, you know, really tries to make the laws as favorable for tenants as possible. And they've succeeded to a large part. So this will be a question for everyone's council member to say, you know, why are the laws as they are? But the courts that enforce the laws are very hesitant to take an action that's going to kick someone out of a place if they actually have an entitlement to be there.
Let me see something. Let's see what else. Because the lady went to court and she did get her put out. Let's see.
Thank you. How you feel?
I feel good. I'm thankful that this outcome was like this for me because I had that order that she signed, but it makes me very upset because if I didn't have the order, it seems like she would have been able to stay there and do this for months and months and however much longer. And other people who don't have the benefit of having such agreement, I can't imagine what they're going to go through in a situation like this. So I'm thankful for me, but I still think that something needs to be done.
What was it like for you to sit in that courtroom? She had a moment to question you. There were documents presented. There was a question of whether a payment she entered was fraudulent because there was no proof of it from the bank. What were your thoughts of just being in the courtroom with her? That was the first time you guys had seen each other face to face in a bit.
It was infuriating because I know I hadn't received a payment from her. This whole thing is coming about because she was not making the $100 a night payment. And for her to come up with a fake document that I confirmed, the judge gave us time to confirm that the document was not real, that Zelle had no payment history of this, and there was a fraudulent confirmation number on this document. So it's infuriating, and I think that something needs to be done because to present that in court after all of this as some kind of Hail Mary, I'm just glad the judge was able to see through it and I was able to prove that this was not true.
The judge said you can evict her right now. What are your plans? What are you about to do?
Evict her. She has to go. I need her out of the property so that I can try to regain the property and get back to my life. I was writing a book, working on a memoir, trying to do women's help organizations and things, and this has totally disrupted my life. So I would like to get back to the things that I could do to help the community, and I think God placed this on me too so that I can help in this area too. So I just want to get back to life.
You mentioned the community. Since our reporting, we've seen a huge amount of support, those that can relate to you, even those who need support in the housing system and their sentiments. What was it like for you to see the reaction to your story here in DC?
I'm so thankful for the support and that we brought this to light. I still am going to work hard and put a change.org document together for more homeowners that are going through this and try to really impact change with this. Like I said, I'm thankful for my outcome. I'm thankful for the court seeing it my way, but I know there are so many others that are struggling with this, and I'm not going to give up yet.
Thank you so much.
Well spoken.
I see you soon.
Good spoken lady. Here goes this.
Because she thought this was her house. She had no intention of...
Hold on, let me see what she got. She got to tie her head up. She really don't know how to evict nobody. You got to go in there. You got to make sure you tie your head up, pimp. Our buddy, he know he got his gloves on, man. You don't know how these people living, man. Make sure you got your gloves on, man. Tie your head up, man. Make sure you use the empty bottle. They use the empty bottles as decorations and shit. Motherfucker, you go to a person's house. They got the empty bottles and shit on the mantle like decorations, man. Come on, man. What is cherry blossom? What is that? Clean sense. Oh, that's her little business she doing. She change locks.
Thank you. Tenant rights and the homeowners see some light, but
Well, so that DC situation finally got resolved. The lady got evicted. So there's definitely a housing issue in this country. I think we're gonna see more situations of Airbnb. I don't know, what do you call it? Airbnb business owners or whatever you call an Airbnb person, Airbnb host. Let's just call them an Airbnb host. I think you're gonna see more situations like this as this housing crisis spreads across the country. You're gonna see more of this. I think you're gonna see more of what we saw in the first segment when we reacted to people in hotel rooms. As the economy gets worse, as more people lose jobs, as the cost of rent rises, it's just going to be tougher. Homelessness is going to continue to increase, and more people are going to be living in hotels. You know, what I'm thinking now that I'm thinking about this and just thinking about the future, are hotels going to change their policies going forward? Are hotels going to change their policies going forward? Because if things continue to get worse, then and more people move into places like Extended Stay America, they're just going to always be at occupancy. So would they change their requirements so that, you know, they can still service, you know, people that are traveling, people that are on vacation? You know, extended stay has always been a place, like even back when I was working for the advertising company, when I had to travel for work, Extended Stay and Extended Stay America, Extended Stay America, Extended Stay Deluxe, I should say. What's the other one? Is it Homestead? Has always been a place for like corporate stays and people that are traveling for business and things of that nature. I could see some of these hotels probably changing their policies and making that barrier, putting a barrier there for people that stay long term, maybe to give them 30 days. And then after 30 days, maybe, you know, if they do renew, make them sign some type of contract or lease or some shit. I don't know, but I do see the situation getting worse as time goes on. But yeah, those extended stays are a money pit. Yeah, they built on a lot of hotels. You said extended stays are a money pit. Terrell said they building a lot of hotels. Yes, more and more squatters taking over. Yeah, squatters, man. She ran straight from court to the house same day. I know that's right. Yeah, she went straight there and took care of that. It definitely was on a mission. He said, watch out for dead cats. He said a squatter and a hoarder. He said, gotta watch for needles. I don't think she was a dope fiend. I think she was just a scammer squatter. You know, clearly her priorities wasn't in the right place because, you know, her Instagram throughout the course of the last 9 months, she's taken multiple trips. So, you know, her priorities definitely ain't in the right place because the time and the money that she spent on those trips, she could have been paying that lady something. You said she got the nicest house on the street. You said that's a crack block. She got the nicest house on the street. So you saying she renting an Airbnb in the hood? You know what? If I could give that lady advice, you know, I would. And I don't live in DC, so I don't know. I know you live in DC. I wouldn't do Airbnb. I think Airbnb is I just think it's a horrible business model. If I was her, I would take that investment property and I would Section 8 it out. I would just Section 8 it out. First of the month, your money's going to be there from the government, and whatever the tenant's portion is, they pay their portion. If I was her, I'd Section 8 it out, and I would just vet whoever she lets move in there. I would vet them really, really well. Your money is going to be there, and you just get your portion from the tenant. But the majority of your money will be there on the first of the month from the government. And then that way you ain't got to deal with all this shit. You know what I'm saying? The Section 8 is going to do their inspections. If the tenant wants to keep their Section 8, they're going to make sure that they on point. As long as that lady makes sure that that house can continue to pass inspection, the Section 8 tenant, they're going to do their part because they don't want to get kicked off the program, right? And then that this just makes life easy for her because clearly she's a woman. She's a little timid. She's a little, she's not as aggressive as, other business people would be. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best option for her. If I could, give her some advice, that's what I would tell her. I would not Airbnb. I would just take that investment property and just straight Section 8 it out. That's a nice property too. I'm glad the homeowner was able to get it back. Property, yeah. That's when they were going through it. I was looking at it. It's nice dark hardwood. It was a nice place. So I get why she was upset. I'm glad she got it back. I just hope she, just changes course on how she's handling that property. I definitely would move away from that Airbnb model and probably just go straight over to Section 8 if I was her. You say you go to jail in D.C., you back out the same day. So we have something similar in Chicago now. It's called a Safety Act. You don't even go to jail no more. Jail now, for most things that you get arrested for, is the backseat of police car. So they'll for certain shit that you would get an I bond out, where you go to the station, you sit for 8 hours, and then when your prints come back, they let you out. That you don't do that no more. So if you get arrested for, let's say trespassing, they arrest you. Obviously, they put you in the back of the police car. They do the paperwork right there on site. They get out the police car, open the back door, take you out the handcuffs, and give you some paper and give you a court date. That's jail now here. And it's called the Safety Act. So certain things that you would have went down to the station for and sat there for 8 hours, you probably wouldn't have go to the county, but some that you would go down to the station for and sit for like 8 hours, you don't do that no more. Cashless bail. They just write you up. The most you're gonna sit is in the back of the police car while they write the report up, and they let you out and you're going on your way. So DC, Chicago, LA, New York, like most of these liberal cities and liberal states are very, very lenient as it pertains to crime. There's a guy who about a month ago here in Chicago, he doused this lady with gasoline and set her on fire on one of the public trains. His first court date, like the very next day, the judge let him out. Now, mind you, this guy has multiple arrests. Clearly, there's something wrong with him mentally. He doused the lady and set her on fire on the train. And his first court date, the next day, the judge let him out. There's a guy running around downtown Chicago right now. They call him the downtown puncher. This dude been arrested like so many times this year. He just walk up to random. He only does it to women. So he'll be walking past you and he'll just punch you. He'll just punch women for no reason. He'll punch you. He'll go to jail, get out the next day. So it ain't funny, but it's just, these Chicago, LA, New York, a lot of these liberal towns, they're just very, very lenient as it pertains to crime. So it's what it is, man. It's what it is. So, So the closet pods for rent in East Asia with bunk beds, modular coffin closet rooms like they got in Korea. Wow. Maybe more tiny home communities will pop up to address the working homeless. I was looking into them tiny home communities. When I was looking, it seemed like it was very, very costly to build one, but that was some years ago. It's probably more cost effective now. Um, yeah, I don't know. Something has to give. I and I just don't know. With the rent steady rising and people not, the wages just aren't rising at the rate of the cost of living and rent. It's just, I don't know. The future just looks grim, you know. It looks really, really grim. So uh they don't want to give people a place to stay even if they commit a crime. So sad. I think, in liberal places like Chicago and LA and New York, I just think crime pays. Crime pays. So, I think the jails are obviously overcrowded. And I just think crime pays. I think, the judicial system, it's a cash cow. You got lawyers getting paid, judges getting paid, bailiffs getting paid, clerks getting paid, court reporters getting paid, police getting paid, lawyers getting paid. I just think, that whole system is just money. So I think honestly, they want people committing crime. Now, as crazy as it sounds, if crime stopped, a lot of people would lose their jobs. A lot of people would not be getting paid. So, and it's what's strange to me? It seems like after COVID, you know, these places were already laxed on criminals and crime. But after COVID, it seemed like things got really, 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 really lax, way more lax. And I'm wondering, is that because there was money lost during COVID, right? Um, you know, uh, people were committing crimes, but crime did kind of go down, right? Because people had money and people weren't angry. People were spending money, they were enjoying themselves, they were having a good time because they had money. There were crimes, but crimes are a lot worse now. And it's like after COVID, it's just like it just got really, really bad. So I'm like, man, is they just letting more crimes go on to kind of make up for a lot of the money that was lost, you know, during COVID? Because man, the court, they're making a lot of money. Every time you go to court, man, now with these court fees, this shit is ridiculous, man, what they charge people for court fees. So are they letting criminals out? I'm just processing it, and you're just brainstorming, just thinking out loud. Are they letting habitual criminals out so that they can keep coming back to court, so that they can keep racking up on court fees? I don't know. It's weird because I sit here and I try to figure out, why would you let a guy out that literally just doused somebody and lit him on fire yesterday? Why would you continuously let this guy out who just punches women randomly? He's already been arrested like 18 times this year already. Why are you letting out all these YNs that continue to, you know, uh, um, harass the community and rob people and terrorize people, and you just let them out and let them continue to do it? I don't know. I don't know. I read today that the government is cracking down on people living in RVs. Really? They cracking down on people living in RVs and van life too? They don't want to give people places. I read that. Closet. They building a hotel, lots of hotels. Those extended stays. All right. Well, this was a pilot episode. I kind of like this, man. Just a little pivot from the type of content I do during the day. I think I might do more of these. I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't know how it would work, but it actually turned out pretty good for a first episode of this reaction. So I'm gonna, see more stories. And I don't want to do entertainment and shit. I want to do things that are, serious, like homelessness and the cost of living. I want to react to things like that. So send me whatever you guys want me to react to on this late night show. Just make sure it's something that we can learn from. You know what I'm saying? and I'll continue to do it and see if we can build a late night show and kind of build an audience up for this, like we got, with the trucking thing during the day. I appreciate everybody. You guys be safe out there. You said van life too. Yeah, van life is just something. Here's the thing before I'm gonna say this before I go. I think van life is like a culture thing. I think that's a culture thing. Like a lot of people, I could be wrong, but the people that I see when I come across van life on YouTube, it's like people that really already have some place to stay and they build out these vans and it's like it's like a culture way of life type thing. I know there's probably some people out there that live in a van because it's cheaper, but it seems like it's more of a culture thing than anything else. But I think they do need to crack down on it because I just, I see people living in vans in some of the strangest places that you wouldn't expect. And I think, I don't want to say it's an eyesore. I don't want to be mean, but like even with the Walmart shit, like you just go to Walmart and you see people, I don't know if I don't want to use the wrong words because I just don't want to sound like a mean person, but I think a lot of people that live van life really don't have to live in a van. I just think they're just doing it just to be doing it. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. They'll probably build some kind of modular shipping container style homes. I see that happening a lot now. Obviously, I don't see it here in the city, but I've seen some online like built out in rural areas. I don't know, man. The government's gonna have to do something. That 50-year mortgage thing, that can't be the option as far as figuring out the home buying crisis. 50-year mortgage, that can't be the answer. They're gonna have to figure something else out. My answer is let the economy crash. Stop propping it up. Just let it go. I think they should have let it go in 2023. I think a big part of, things. Here's the thing. I think if we remove the whole gig economy, I think we would be in a much better place because a lot of people, and don't take this the wrong way, would be in a worse situation than they are now. Things would be worse off. We would have bottomed out and we would have been on our way back up to the top by now. I think the gig economy is part of the problem because it's helped propping up the unemployment. A lot of people that lose their job, they go over to the gig economy. They keep some type of money, that instant liquidity. It comes in, it's instant, right? Because I think most of these guys are operating at a loss, but they get that instant liquidity and they pump it back out. A big portion of it, obviously, they have to recycle back into, the cost of doing whatever it is that they're doing as far as the vehicle, the maintenance, fuels, and things of that nature. And then the rest they spend it on, just bills. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a part of the problem that's been propping up the economy because instead of people, just losing their jobs and just going straight to the unemployment office and not having anything, they got that. So by them getting that instant liquidity, they're still spending money. They're still getting approved because they have something coming in for Klarna, Afterpay, and the firm, and so on and so forth. Obviously, I think Jerome Powell was propping things up over the course of the last few years too. And I think if we just have a really good reset, I think if the economy just has a nice, really, it's bad now, but I don't think we're at the bottom. I think if we just bottom out and have a nice, hard reset, I think that would be good. I think housing prices will come down. People that have money, investors that have money would be more willing to spend it. And I think, that'll be the beginning phases of things going in a better direction. But if things continue to stay the way that they are now, it's like being it's like suppression. You know what I'm saying? I think it's making people worse off and they don't really know it. I hope the way I explain that makes sense to people. I just think we just really need to bottom out, just crash. Yes, there's going to be some casualties, but that's the point. I think we just need to bottom all the way out and let the people that have cash that's sitting on it spend it. Why? Because smart money doesn't spend. Smart money spends at the bottom. Bottom out. So the money, the people that have money can start spending, can start buying these assets and pumping money back out into the economy. You said BlackRock won't allow a crash to happen. They are too vested. Yes, BlackRock has been really, really vested, especially into the housing market over the course of maybe the last 5, 6, probably longer years. They've just been buying up property, especially single family homes all across America, especially single family homes. So you're right. You're right. I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I just feel bad for people. And then people's mindset is just so screwed up now. But if I don't want to say my hope, if things go the way I want them to go, hopefully we just bottom out. We just bottom out. But you're right, it may not go that way, because of BlackRock. So yes, the gigs are helping to deceive those unemployment numbers. Yes, they are. They are. The gig economy is what's giving people, it's keeping people, it's giving them crumbs. You know what I'm saying? It's giving them crumbs to kind of prop things up. We are way overdue for a correction. Way overdue. I think we should have hit bottom in 2023. I think Jerome Powell did a good, he did a good ass job of, propping things up. But I just really think we just need to bottom out. I really do. It would be good. It would be a healthy correction. There's going to be some casualties, but it's unfortunate. But it's a lot of casualties in 2008. But it was, look how much money started to be, people started spending money after 2008. People that had cash on hand started buying those properties up. Money started, being circulated. Yeah, people were still losing homes in 2009, 2010. Obviously, I made a fortune because of it. But there's opportunity, in times of despair. When things are going good, there's opportunity. When things are going bad, there's opportunity. So the people who look for the opportunities are the people that are going to win. When people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy. Right now is the time that I'm greedy, because now is a great opportunity to buy. I think there's going to be better opportunities if things get worse, which I'm praying things go that way. And I hate to say it, man, but I'm a business person. I'm looking for the best buying opportunity. So, what I'm saying? I hate to say, that, because there's people out here that just like, why would you want things to get worse? Because I'm prepared for it. If you watch my channel, I've been saying these days were coming. And the people that watch me, we've been preparing for it. We've been stockpiling cash. And we're ready to spend. We're already spending. And then as soon as things get better and people start following trends, we're going to offload it. And we're going to wash, rinse, and repeat. So, I just, the people who, who don't have the right mind frame, you got to get the right mind frame, and then you won't be offended by me saying, you know what, I pray that things get worse. Then you'll understand, because you would understand, and I'm looking at it from a business perspective, because that would present the best buying opportunity from an investment perspective. I'm looking for the best entry point. The best entry point is always going to be when shit is the cheapest. Buy low, sell high. I'm going to buy in a bear market. I'm going to buy the person who bought high. He's losing because he can't sustain it anymore. You know? And then when the market gets better, you sell at the top. It's just like the people who had cash on hand after 08. The people who had cash on hand after 08 had the best buying opportunity. I remember 2 flats. I was just getting started, so I didn't have the cash on. I wish I would have had the cash on hand then, but I was just getting started in business. The people who bought property in 09, 2010, I remember they were buying 2-3 flats for $30,000 and $40,000, $50,000. Those units are selling now for $400,000 and $500,000. So after fucking 12, 14, 15 years of renting, making your money back 100 times over, now you can offload something that you purchased 15 years ago for 40, 50 bucks, 40, 50,000, and you're unloading it now for $500,000. And you've been profitable for the last 14 years off of renting those units to tenants. We'll never see nothing like that again. That was a once in a lifetime opportunity. But the people that had cash on hand then, right, were the people who took advantage of that situation, and a lot of millionaires were made because of it. You have to look at it like that. So, you know, not just BlackRock, the market makers overall will implement trading circuit breakers like they did in 2020 if they see too much risk for capital, flight, or liquidity leaving the economy. The market makers overall will implement trading circuit breakers like they did. Why does this keep popping? You said, oh, wait, we didn't have BlackRock? Mark, I was reading an article. America meets the criteria of being a third world country, you mean? Now? They have major plans in Chicago for that to be a quantum computing hub. Who? For you guys plan to build facilities there, the economics will continue. Yeah. Where are you hearing these plans for Chicago? They have major plans in Chicago for that to be a quantum computing hub. Who has plans for that here in Chicago? Amigo, who has plans for that? Who has plans for this to be a computing hub in Chicago? Man, I wish I was where I am now back in 09. Man, that was an opportunity of a lifetime. $2020 was an opportunity of a lifetime. So hopefully the people that took advantage of the economy bottoming out March of 2020, hopefully there's people in here that are watching that we're able to take advantage of that. I don't think we're going to see another bottom like that. 2020 March, what day was that? March 16th, March 13th, whatever that day when all markets just crashed. That was a great day. You know, so the bull run of the stock market of 2020, it was green every day. It was just a lot of that infusion of capital in the form of stimulus that was pumped into the economy. People were just spending it everywhere. They weren't just spending it at Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Burberry. It was people put that money in the stock market. Damn near every day was green. You damn near couldn't lose. Once in a lifetime, I don't ever think we'll see a stock market like that. I made so much money. Once the market, Biden came in, that market started to go down, transferred all that money into crypto, ran it up over there. People were spending money. If you had a business, you were making money. The people that did what they were supposed to do with it, kudos. A lot of people didn't, though. A lot of people thought that time was going to last forever. They were in a euphoric phase of a bubble. It was euphoria. Euphoria took over their thoughts, their thought process. It took over their critical thinking. They thought it was going to last forever because that money was there, and they were in a euphoric phase of a bubble, and it just took over them. And a lot of people didn't do what was in their best interest. So I don't think Amika is here no more to answer that question. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. We'll probably do this again one day next. What's today? Wednesday. I'll probably do another episode late night before the end of the week. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.